Welcome to Carnoustie in Angus, host venue for the 147th Open Championship. And like all our open venues, Carnoustie enjoys a magnificently rich history. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to try to emulate some of the greatest shot making that we've seen here over the years. So right back to Ben Hogan here in 1953 when he won the Open on his only attempt to play in it, right the way through to 2007, the most recent Open here, when Padraig Harrington so memorably defeated Sergio Garcia in a playoff. Now, go easy on me, I'm not a tour professional, I'm a 3-handicapper, and really these shots are going to be way beyond my skill set, but I will attempt to reproduce them for you, and if nothing else, I hope it gives you an insight into the skills that these great players have. So wish me luck, and let's see how we get on. I'm standing on the 6th tee at Carnoustie. This is a famous par 5, the only one on the front 9 at Carnoustie. And it was here in 1953 that the great Ben Hogan made another piece of golfing history. Now, this was his one and only visit to our Open Championship, so a fair amount of mystique surrounding the great man. And he stood on this hole, and as you can see behind me, the out of bounds fence is tight down the left. Now, legend has it that Hogan, on all 4 rounds of the championship, managed to thread his drive to the left of the bunkers and into the fairway just next to the out of bounds, which of course gives a much better angle into the green. So much so that the hole is now named Hogan's Alley for this little channel that he hit the ball down. So I'm going to have a go at pulling off this shot, see if I can do what Ben did all those years ago in 1953. Well, I couldn't quite pull that one off. Now, even standing here now with absolutely no pressure on, it is such a difficult shot. Now, the gap between the bunkers and the out of bounds it is not impossibly narrow. The difficulty is that anything that is slightly left is just gone and out of bounds. Well, I guess that's why Hogan's Hogan. So, it's 1999 and here we are, just in front of the 18th green. Jean van der Velde has the claret jug all but in his grasp. He's 3 shots clear playing the last hole, but as we know, anything can happen on the last hole here at Carnoustie. So he plays his tee shot out to the right, which is actually quite sensible. It's about the safest spot he could have found. And with his second shot, his rationale is, can he get it over the Barry Burn? Because if he clears the Barry Burn, he's basically won the championship. Now, he hits it, clears the burn, no problem at all. The problem is it's right, and it ricochets into the huge stand that would have been just over my left shoulder here, and rebounds back across the burn onto this side into some absolutely horrendous rough. So at that stage, he should still be okay. He's playing his 3rd shot. All he needs to do really is get the thing on the green, couple of putts, he's out of there, he's won. Problem is that the lie's terrible, and it's the last hole of the Open. So let's see how I get on. Well, there we go. There was never any great danger of me getting that shot anywhere close to the flag. I must freely admit that the rough today, nothing like as bad as it was back then in 1999. Nevertheless, it's still astonishing that a tour pro leading the Open could chunk it. I mean, it's honestly well under half the distance into the burn. I'm standing right in the middle of the 18th fairway here at Carnoustie, and I'm 229 yards away from the flag, and that's exactly what Paul Lawrie faced in 1999 in the last hole of a 4-hole playoff for the Open Championship. He's got a huge distance. He reckons his 4-iron normally went about 205 and he's got 229 here, so he's playing for a bit of adrenaline and a bit of a bounce. And he's taking aim at that clock you can see on the hotel. To me, the most difficult element of this shot, I mean, quite apart from being in the playoff to win the Open, is the tightness of the lie, and you've got that burn. He's got to get across the burn. If he can clear the burn, that's the first task, and if he can keep it above ground, then it's basically job done. But I can tell you off this tight links turf, it requires an incredibly precise strike. If he gets it a tiny bit fat, he's taking some grains of sand, that ball's going in the burn, and Paul Lawrie might not be winning the Open. So, wish me luck, I'll go and give it a go. So that was just incredibly difficult. So I'm looking at this shot, it's downwind, I'll be honest. I can just about cover the distance with my best 4-iron, but what I can't do is make the carry in the air. So I've hit quite a reasonable shot for me, but I mean, it's never looked like clearing the burn. It's straight in on the full, and I'm not winning any playoffs. I'm standing in front of the 18th green, and yet again the Barry burn just behind me is prominent, as it is in anything really regarding Carnoustie. So in 2007, Padraig Harrington is playing the last, and he stands on the tee and he's actually got a one-shot lead, and then things go very badly wrong, and it's Jean van der Velde all over again. So he hits his tee shot right, and it actually hops over the burn once and then ends up in the burn anyway. So he has to take a drop. He's then playing his third shot. And his third shot from out on the 17th, well, he just hits it fat, which is entirely understandable. And he knows as soon as he hits it where the ball's going. So sure enough, he's in the Barry burn for the second time when playing the hole. So by this stage, he's played 4 shots. He's now facing his 5th from just here, off what I can only describe as an extremely bare lie. And he's got a pitch of, what, 40, 45 yards or so. And he needs to get up and down to save 6 and have any chance. But Harrington, to his eternal credit, manages to pitch this thing into 5 or 6 feet, holds the putt, makes double bogey despite going in the water twice, and then half an hour later, Garcia can't par the last, and it turns out that's good enough to get him a place in the playoff. The rest is history. So let's see how I get on with this little pitch. So I don't know about you, but the 40-50 yard pitch off an incredibly tight links bare lie over a pretty hefty water hazard in the shape of the Barry burn fills me with total dread, let alone being on the last hole of the Open and having already been in that Barry burn twice. Well, in these conditions, I've just about managed to get it onto the heart of the green, and do you know what, I'd take that all day. So here we are by the 16th green at Carnoustie, and in the 2007 playoff, which was between Padraig Harrington and Sergio Garcia, now we're getting to the business end of the playoff. So this is the second hole of 4, and at the first hole it's not gone well for Garcia at all. Harrington has made 3 to Garcia's 5, so Harrington holds a 2-shot lead. Now Harrington has missed the green here at the very long par 3 16th. Garcia stands on the tee knowing it's got to be good. The hole is 248 yards. Garcia gets his 3-iron out and absolutely lasers this thing, and it hits the flag. An incredible shot. But rather than dropping into the hole or at least going stone dead, it actually bounces away to, well, best part of 20 feet, I think. Garcia, of course, misses the putt inevitably and goes on to miss out on the claret jug, muttering about having to do more than just beat the players in the field. And frankly, even 11 years on, he had a point. What an incredible shot. So I'm going to have a go at recreating this 3-iron from 248 yards. So let's see how I get on. So as is becoming a recurring theme in this series, this is another shot I don't have, the 248 yard 3-iron. When you're back on that tee, the green is such a long way away. It really does look much more like a short 4 than it does a par 3. What an incredible shot that was by Garcia. So, mixed success trying to take on some of the legendary shots from Carnoustie. I don't think there's any doubt this is a quite magnificent test of golf. I'm sure it's going to be another amazing Open Championship here at Carnoustie. Hope you enjoy the videos. Lots of other great content on our website and also on our Open microsite, so check out the links below and tell us what you think.